Alright, welcome back to the Backyard Professor videos. I'm Kerry Shirts, the Backyard Professor. I bet you didn't know that, did you? Continuing my discussion on DNA in the Book of Mormon, Meldrum and Stephens, on page 18, they are describing a very important context that I have yet to see the critics deal with. And so I'm going to try to read rapidly because I want all of this in one segment, because it's important to understand this is the context, this is the logical context that we have to work within the parameters of testing the Book of Mormon. First, we have to know who is who and why and what. That makes logical sense. If you don't know what you're looking for, you won't know it if you found it. This is they're talking about the Lamanites in the post Christ appearance terms in the Book of Mormon. There began to be Lamanites again in the land. Lamanites refers to the anti-Christian people according to the keepers of the record. These later Lamanites, they were even less a genealogical group than the earlier ones. Who these people were a mixture of descendants of Lehi, Ishmael, Zoram, and Mulek, the people of Zarahemla, likely even Jaredites, and also all who had become Lamanites because of their dissensions. From the point of view of the Nephite record keepers and the defenders of the Christian tradition that they had inherited, the dissenters would encompass any indigenous populations that were not counted among the members of the Church of Christ, or who did not demonstrate allegiance to those Nephites who kept the record. They did not participate in the Nephite society and form of government, in other words. This them versus us mentality is somewhat like the monikers of Jew and Gentile. We still don't know how to distinguish Jew and Gentile genetically. How do you do that? After the apostasy around AD 200, they had that period of peace, the seven lineages once again came into the distinction. Just how true these affiliations were to genealogical relationships after 2 centuries, see, that's as long as America's been a country. We don't understand the genealogy relationships at all among these people yet. Today, few people have a sense of their specific genealogy beyond their grandparents or great-grandparents, let alone their family roots of 200 years ago. The situation would be even more extreme in a homogeneous, largely illiterate society without surnames. Such affiliations would not necessarily be restricted to strict lineage. Even after this apostasy and the re-emergence of ites, the collective term Nephite applied to the followers of Christ, while Lamanite referred to the non-believers, irrespective of their lineage. This dichotomy was clearly a religious political distinction, not a lineage distinction. What various connotations does the label Lamanite carry? The word has been used in at least 5 different ways. Number 1, it is a lineage descended through male lines from Laman, Lehi's oldest son. Number 2, it is a pre-Christian nation descended from Laman and his original followers. In other words, the Lamanites, the Lemuelites, and the Ishmaelites, and possibly other adherents who were enemies of the Nephites. The third description is the later Lamanites after AD 194, an anti-Christian cultural political group, not based on ethnicity. And the fourth distinction is descendants of all 7 lineages as they exist at present. The entire posterity of Lehi, Ishmael and Zoram, as well as Mulek and his associates, possibly even the remnants of the Jaredites. All American Indians collectively, often including the Polynesians. That's the 5th definition of Lamanite. Ooh, you can hear the sandhill cranes. I hope you can hear that. Those are awesome, man. Lamanite, this is on page 19 now. That was on page 18. Lamanite referred initially to genealogy, to be sure, without question. But within 2 or 3 generations, this term had shifted to mean a religious political faction whose distinguishing feature was its opposite to the Church of Christ. Lineage became an increasingly minor factor. This is crucial to realize within the Book of Mormon record itself. Hope I got enough time to finish this. Elder Spencer W. Kimball, an apostle at the time that he said this, qualified Lamanite. Get this. Here is his understanding as including all Indians and Indian mixtures, such as the Polynesians, the Guatemalans, the Peruvians, as well as the Sioux, the Apache, the Mohawk, the Navajo, and others. It is a large group of great people. Such statements indicate that church leaders did not exclude the likelihood that the Book of Mormon peoples had mixed with other populations. This is very important. I've never seen a critic quote President Kimball there. Dallin H. Oaks, more recently, a quorum of the member of the 12, has reiterated that the Book of Mormon is not the history of all of the people that have lived on the continents of North and South America in all ages. It only purports to be an account of a few of the peoples who inhabited a portion of the Americas during a few millennia. Those are 2 modern leaders who are giving us the understanding of Lamanite as well as the Book of Mormon. The critics who are trying to argue that DNA proves there's no Lamanite DNA among the Native Americans, that doesn't wash. We first have to understand who the Lamanites are. And when we find out, according to the Book of Mormon itself, that the Lamanite is not strictly a DNA person who descended directly from Laman, but that it includes all other peoples as well, then we can see that this argument that DNA proves the Book of Mormon is false, that argument itself is false.